Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. Thank you so much for joining Zoom in with Renee. Today my guest is from Mumbai, actor Ahmareen Anjum, who's best known for her role in the movie RRR, the most acclaimed film of the year and the first Indian production to win an Oscar for their best original song, got the Golden Globes and many other coveted awards. Thank you so much for joining me from Mumbai, Ahmareen, and first of all, congratulations. What a great movie. And you play such a pivotal character in that, Loki, because
Yes.
the whole plot of the film is based on that. Share with us how you got this role, how you prepared for this role, because it's made so much waves everywhere globally. RRR, everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Absolutely. So, talking about how I got this role, basically, I remember I had auditioned for this part in 2017. And then, because we give auditions on a daily basis, we give so many auditions in a year, you tend to forget how many auditions for which projects you've given. And I think in 2019, I got a call and they told me that you've been finalized for this part. And I was like, which part? So remember you gave this audition in 2017 for this Telugu cinema, the Telugu film, and I was like, oh, okay. I was still trying to recall, okay, which film exactly. The moment they told me it was S.S. Rajamouli's film, I was like, oh, okay, that part. And I was so excited that, I've been finalized, because it wasn't a call for another test or anything, but just, they wanted to finalize me. And I still remember that moment. I was trying to figure out whether this is actually happening or not. But once it settled in, I was extremely happy. And because I had a week's time only to prepare, because the shoot was already ongoing. The film went on for about 4 or 5 years. It was a long shoot. So I had 1 week to prepare. And because Loki is from the Gorn tribe, so I went online. I searched about the tribe. I saw as much as I could. I read as much as I could. And then, of course, on the set, Sir was there to guide me. So that's how I prepared for the character.
Expression says it all. They're like so pregnant with so much of emotions. Your daughter is snatched away from you, and that expression, stays in the person's mind. It's so real, and it's so much of feelings in it that you cry out for yourself. It's so real that I'm sure that you really went through that whole emotions as if really your child was snatched away from you.
Yeah, I remember that shot when Maldi was being snatched away and me shouting. I think we took about 10 or 11 takes, because there were some technical issues happening, not because of the performance, but because of the technicality. And I was a little worried that whether I'll be able to perform with the same intensity every time, because it's a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
And that scene went on almost for half the day. But, the set was so real. Everybody on set knew exactly what they were doing. It was such a believable situation that I was in, that I could actually feel the pain. And also the bond between me and Malli, the girl, Twinkle, who played Malli, because we were hanging out a lot off set also. So that bond was already there. So it really helped me connect with her. And when she was being taken away, I could really feel the pain within me. 2019, December, and the pandemic hit somewhere around, I think, February 2020. Yeah. So nobody knew what was going to happen 2 months later. But a lot of good memories are there, because it was like we were shooting in a forest. So the team was extremely small, and it was a Naxalite area. So a lot of people were not allowed to go there anyway. There was no signal. You couldn't communicate with anybody. I couldn't talk back home. The only time I could call them was when we used to go back to the hotel, and there was just 5 minutes of Wi-Fi we used to get. So it was just like a family there for about 7 days, and we were just interacting with each other, talking about our families, talking about food, everything else apart from the movie. And it was like a really nice environment to be in, because we got to know everybody very closely and personally, because the set was so small when we shot in Araku Valley.
How is it working with this great director? I mean, it's an amazing cast and crew. How is it working with all these stalwarts?
So my scenes were basically, there was one scene with Junior NTR. I had no scenes with anybody else. And I remember he is a very, very humble person to be around. He just came on set and we just had that scene there. It was a moment of, where he's brought back my daughter. So it was a moment where I'm really, really thankful to him and grateful for him, because I really thought that I have lost my daughter. Whether she's going to come back or not, nobody knows. And I was crying every day. See, you've not seen that part, but a mother, when she loses her child, she's crying every day. She doesn't want to do anything. And that moment when he brings her back, he's like God to me. He's an elder brother. He's like God to me in that moment. So that connection happened very nicely. And apart from that, SS Rajamouli sir, like, I cannot say how much of an amazing director he is, because he is such a visionary. He plans everything. He knows from A to Z. Everybody on the team, on the cast, on the crew, everybody is in sync, because his planning is so amazing, and his vision, you just have to follow his vision and you see the magic on screen.
I'm sure you'd love to work with him again.
Absolutely. I would love to work with him 100 times.
And then the song, gets the best original song in Oscars, Naatu Naatu. So everybody knows about Naatu Naatu. And the song, the way it's choreographed is so beautiful. You just get into that energy. So much of vibrancy in that song.
Yeah. It is. It's like a proper rustic Indian number. You can feel the essence of India in the song, in the beats, in the dance moves, everything, in the expressions. So I think that is why people have connected with it so much, because this is something which is very true to our roots. So we have just expressed in the form of a song how we are as Indians. So that is why people are just loving every little thing about it. And that's why I think not just America, I think I have had so many fan messages from Japan and other parts of the world, saying that they love this song, and they are just dancing on this number. And when I heard the song finally, because I wasn't a part of that particular dance sequence, when I heard the song in the cinemas, I was like, wow, what is this? The energy stays with you. Like, you want to get up and dance in the theater. Yeah.
Like my India, and it's like, yes, you're all like, go for it. And just get into the flow.
They have done it so effortlessly. Yeah. I know, because I dance myself, I know how difficult those steps are, but they have done it so effortlessly. It's looking beautiful.
When you got the news, this has been nominated for the Oscars and you got the Golden Globes, what was going on in your mind?
I think when we got the Golden Globes, that feeling, that gut feeling started coming, that okay, maybe now we're going to get the Oscar for sure, because that was like a kind of an assurance that, okay, people are finally recognizing our Indian song too, globally. And all of us were hoping, and I had this feeling within that, I know that we are going to somehow win the Oscar this year, and we were praying for it. And we were like, I had a sleepless night, I remember, because the time difference is there. So I was like, I am going to stay awake when this is going to be announced. And I remember my aunt messaged me. She's in New York. She messaged me, congratulations. And I was like, I saw my, I was like, wow, did we actually win it? Then I went and I was like, oh, this is the best feeling ever. Being part of a film, which is an Oscar-winning film, is it's the most valuable thing for an actor, to be associated with an Oscar-winning film. That's right there on top. So
all eyes are not on RRR, because it's gotten the world attention, and you being in the movie, it's such a feeling of wow, I was part of this whole journey.
Yes, it's still very surreal, but I keep telling myself that, be proud of yourself, and you've done a good job. So that makes me more happy that I did my best that I could.
That's so true. You worked across the different mediums, whether it's television or theater or films, and you've gone through filmmaking school as well. So you are an actor who has learned her craft really well. Do you feel you had to put in a lot of work, even though with all the skill sets that you had, because you're an outsider, and you have to really prove your mettle and your acting capabilities? And let's say in a film and that didn't work out, does that become a major challenge for people who are coming from the outside of the industry?
Well, I believe everybody's journey is different. I can only talk about my journey. I had to go through a lot of struggle in the beginning because I didn't know anybody. So coming to a new city and trying to understand how the industry works, trying to meet people where you meet the right kind of people, you meet the wrong kind of people, then you realize, okay, these are the genuine ones. So you have to make sure that you don't engage with people who are not right, because everybody here tries to sell dreams to people who've come from outside, that I'll make you a star, I will launch you. All of that happens, but you have to be smart enough to understand that they're just trying to, take advantage of you. So the first few years were a little difficult, but then once I started getting work, the flow became better, and I was getting opportunities. But I would still say that, even after having so many releases in this industry, it is not that I am getting a lot of scripts from which I can choose, which I was expecting would happen after working for so long. But if you see anybody who has been launched by a big producer or is a star kid, they already have 4 or 5 films lined up for them. Whether the first film is a success or a flop, it doesn't matter. They have that opportunity, they have that access, which we don't have because we have to constantly keep giving auditions and struggling and proving our mettle. And after a certain point, you keep rising and rising and rising. But still, at this moment also, I can't guarantee, I can't say for sure that I'm going to get 5 more projects, because I still have to go through that process of auditioning for the next role. Even when I have given a hit like RRR, I still have to give those auditions. So I feel over there is, I can't complain, but it does seem a bit unfair when it
On
comes
the
to.
flip side, Ahmareen, is that people from the industry, people have expectations, a lot of expectations, so they have that burden on them as well. My family is part of the business in movie,
Yeah.
so people are expecting a lot from me. So that's there too. That's of the responsibility, and what are they going to expect from me? So they also have their pros and cons.
Absolutely, absolutely, that is there. But again, I would say that this is nothing against people who are star kids or who are being launched, but this is just a general request which I would like to make to casting directors or the producers in the industry, that if you're launching one star kid, launch one outsider at the same time, so that there's a kind of balance in the industry. So you get to see a lot of talent from outside the industry, as well as people who are talented in the industry are going to stay there no matter what.
That's true. Now, what's coming up next for you, Ahmareen?
So I have been reading a few scripts, but apart from that, I finished shooting for a Netflix original film, which should release by the end of this year. I just finished the dubbing for it, and it's looking really nice, but I can't talk too much about it right now. But when I can, I will definitely share it with you.
Right. The whole landscape of the movie industry is changing with the new technology, a lot of stuff online. Like we're interviewing, we never thought like 10, 15 years ago we would be doing that. If you're in person, yes, I will come and see you, but it was never like this. Nobody envisioned something like that. So a whole lot of stuff has changed in the industry as well. And does that make it better, facilitates actors like you as well? The movie industry, not the same anymore. The movies run for a week, and that's pretty much it. Before they used to run for weeks and months. Those were the golden years of cinema at that time. So very different ethics, very different work situations. How does that bring for the next generation a different kind of a challenge?
It is going to be a good opportunity for a lot of people, not just actors. I feel actors, writers, directors, everybody who is very new to the industry, because there are so many mediums right now and people are really vouching for good content and they want to watch good content. That's why a lot of new concepts are being greenlit. A lot of new directors are getting the opportunity. A lot of new actors are getting the opportunity. So I think with the competition increasing, obviously, and a lot of people come to Bombay every year to make their career in this industry, but the platforms are also increasing. So I think the quality of cinema is going to improve a lot. And we are in the phase where we believe in not acting. So if you're not acting, you are a good actor. So it's very important that whoever wants to make their career in this field get some form of training. That is my advice to everybody. If you come without any training or preparation, it's going to be very difficult because there are a lot of good actors, a lot of good technicians here. So make sure you do your preparation, your training, your complete your education, and then come to Bombay, because it is a very expensive city. You have to struggle here for some time till the time you finally make it. So it's going to be a challenge to live in a different city and make your career from scratch. But if you're trained enough, you will definitely get the right opportunity at the right time.
There are challenges, but there are opportunities as well. So
Yes,
absolutely. That. Now I know that you and your husband, Danny, you are doing a lot of workshops, acting
Yes.
workshops online.
Yes. Yes. We're doing both online and offline acting workshops now. Yeah. We just started offline workshops 2 months back. We finished the first batch and we started registrations for the second batch. And this whole concept of doing online workshops came during the pandemic, because everybody else can work from home, but what are actors going to do? You can't work from home. So what can you do in this time? So we discussed this and we thought it's a very good way.
Voiceovers, you can do voiceovers.
Yeah, voiceovers, but still, like, there are very few